Well, there's a brand new opening for Pokemon Journeys, and there was so much in it, so let's go ahead and discuss it. Hey, this is GatorEX, and yes, with today's episode, there's a brand new opening, so gonna go ahead and discuss that first, then I'll be watching the episode and reviewing that as well, because of course, you don't have to do any reading with the opening. So overall, it's pretty neat. It is the same song, of course, 1, 2, 3. It is done by a different group, I forget who exactly, but the visuals are different, completely different, and so that's pretty neat. In terms of like if we're going to be seeing this in the English dub, probably not for a while, because currently the English dub is only on episode 12. So let's go ahead and discuss it. So like typically there's there's like, some usual kind of things there, like, showing off Ash and Go, which by the way, they look pretty neat. The interesting thing though is that, later on there are a bunch of big details and of course stuff that hints toward later stuff that's going to be happening in the series. Of course, shows off Ash, Go, Chloe as well. The whole gang. Then at one point we get to see a montage of like various legendary Pokemon. They're kind of like gone by like on the screen, or like basically every box legendary Pokemon of the games, except for Generation 1 that didn't have box legendaries, that had Zapdos, Moltres, Articuno. They do appear later on in the intro as well, not just like on the screen. So if we're going to be seeing Articuno, Zapdos, Moltres, it's kind of interesting. Like the series already started off like pretty interesting, because episode 2 had our heroes meeting Lugia and hanging out with Lugia for a bit. So whether we're going to get to see the other legendaries, like I think it's very, very possible that we're going to, we're going to be seeing basically every other legendary to a degree. Maybe it's not going to be like a huge world ending kind of thing, maybe just kind of like researching, because that's kind of the point. That's what Ash and Go are doing. They're researching various Pokemon. And again, I really like the interaction that they had with Lugia way back in episode 2. That was a really nice thing. At one point, we get this neat visual of Go surrounded by a bunch of Pokeballs, and Mew is kind of like floating around him or by him. I don't know if he sees Mew, but it's very representative of his goal. It's interesting, it's Go by himself and not Ash with him. And there's a lot of discussion here and there of whether Go will take over as the main protagonist, whether that's going to be anything. Maybe whether this hints to it, I'm not entirely sure. But again, the episode, the next one that again going to be reviewing tomorrow, it doesn't have Ash in it. It's all about Go. But I think like, more so it's focusing on Go, at least for the series right now, as a secondary protagonist alongside Ash. So, giving him some time to shine. And again, being the new character in, Pokemon, giving him a good moment like this, and especially with, such a big goal, one of meeting Mew and potentially catching Mew. So then that transitions into, again, the shot, like I mentioned, of Zapdos, Moltres, Articuno. And then from there, we get into sort of a battle, or at least it's showing off basically everyone's team. It's showing off all of Ash's team. Looks really nice. It looks like there's an Aerodactyl there, which I wouldn't say that's Ash's. But the interesting thing is that it also kind of shows off a lot of Go's Pokemon. And it looks like it's a battle. This portion is framed as a battle between Ash and Go, because then we see Go's Scorbunny, attack, and Gengar, or Ash's Gengar, attacking each other. So, probably maybe some friendly battle. But then that would make me think that maybe Go catches the Aerodactyl at some point. It's pretty odd, though, that there's just an Aerodactyl there for whatever reason, because, everything else we see is, legendary Pokemon, which are pretty significant, and every other Pokemon we see is, belongs to somebody in the show. Of course, then we also get to see Team Rocket, and again, we see Gigantamax Pikachu facing off against a Gigantamax Dreadnought. That's right, that's the name. I always forget the name. But it is interesting, because it seems like we'll be seeing the Gigantamax again. And like I said, it's showing off just more Pokemon that belong to them. Again, the Dreadnought is a little more significant just because of, what happened with Gigantamax Pikachu originally in that episode back then. It also shows, by the way, our Galar champion and the number 2, Leon and Raihan. So we're going to be seeing Raihan again, interestingly, probably. And, it's a nice moment, because then they're all taking pictures, and that just looks, cool. They're taking pictures with Raihan, and that looks cool on the Pokemon equivalent of Instagram, because, that's Raihan. So that's a nice moment that they'll probably be hanging out, because am I incorrect in saying they didn't talk with Raihan? They didn't meet Raihan, did they? I don't believe they did. They watched the battle, definitely. But, did they meet Raihan? I don't think they did. Huh, that's strange to say. No, but regardless, then we also get to see more. The big thing that's basically breaking the internet is we get to see all of the Alola characters, the Alola cast. that they're in the intro for the, or in the opening for this is pretty significant. I mean, we knew that there were going to be previous characters returning again, with Lance and then Karina, and then they there was recently kind of I believe an interview that was saying, yeah, there are going to be a lot more characters from previous series, and but for the main protagonist characters, like from Alola to be appearing. But I guess that does make sense because they were the series previous to this, so they were the one right before. Very obviously, I think later down the line, yeah, maybe we're gonna get Brock Misty, because Brock and Misty did appear in Alola again, or stuff like that. But being in the intro is big. Of course, maybe they just want people to know that. How long they'll be there, who knows how long the episodes will be. They'll probably just end up going to Alola. And I guess that also makes sense because, not that Alola's small, but it's more, I guess maybe more interconnected, because if they visit Alola, very likely they're going to run into, some of Ash's friends, some people that they know. And since he was just there in the previous series, then they probably want to meet, hey, you just left, how have you been since you left? Stuff like that. But that's pretty neat, pretty interesting. There is some stuff with Celebi, but I believe that's the portion of the intro that's set aside for something with the current episode, because this episode has to do with Celebi, this more recent one that this was introduced in. There's some Ludicolo, and we get to see our heroes just kind of watching a city as it turns to sunset and night. But I believe that is everything in the intro for the most part. Oh, I'm so dumb. How could I forget the biggest thing? Obviously, the crazy thing is we get to see part of the Darkest Day, supposedly. Well, obviously it's the Darkest Day. We see our heroes facing off against Eternatus, and Ash has a Lucario by him, and Go has a Cinderace by him. Now, the craziest, biggest thing is that on top of that, the official, Pokemon Anime Twitter account posted this image. Like, it goes by like that in the intro, but you can notice it. But the Twitter account posted it, and it's like, hey, look at this. What's this big, strong Pokemon that they're facing off against? And they're like, oh, and the Pokemon that Ash and Go are with are interesting too. I'm like, oh, okay. So obviously, we did know that Riolu was going to evolve. And I think it was also kind of predictable that Raboot would evolve. But for it to come in this opening, so for us to see it teased in the opening so soon, who knows how quickly it's going to happen? Because but I mean, I might expect it to happen pretty soon, because Scorbunny did evolve pretty quickly. And with Ash getting Riolu, it's very likely going to evolve very soon. I think just how that story is being set up. But that's a big thing that's interesting. And then the final kind of shot with Ash and Go and their Pokemon. We see a Flygon and a Heracross on Go's side. There had been some rumors and speculation about Flygon, whether Ash might be getting a Flygon. Because in a way it was kind of teased here and there, at least in the Jirachi movie, and people just wanted Ash to get a Flygon, but he's already got the Dragonite, so I guess it makes a little more sense to Go to have the Flygon, because then now he has a big dragon to carry him around. Because I don't think he had any Pokemon that could carry him if he flew. He has the Scyther. Did he? He hasn't caught a Fearow yet. He wanted to catch a Fearow in the one with the pit of, but he didn't catch that Fearow. So I don't think Go doesn't have any big flying Pokemon, does he? But regardless, it looks like he's going to be getting a Flygon, so that's actually really interesting. And the Heracross, and I believe the Heracross is actually going to be in next episode as well. So we got a team, and again, it is kind of neat to see Go kind of having a team of his own. He's not battling, isn't his goal. His goal is obviously to catch a lot of Pokemon and to meet Mew again. But it is kind of nice seeing that he's got some hefty Pokemon as well. Like these two kids, these two goofs who are so fun to watch in the anime. But they've got some strong Pokemon. They got a Dragonite, gonna get a Lucario, Gengar, Flygon, Scyther, Heracross, and the Cinderace, gonna get the Cinderace. It's pretty neat, but overall, yeah, that's the interesting, and that is kind of the shot we end. Again, we get kind of a fist bump from the two of them, but this shot is powerful, honestly. But that's basically the opening. So let me know what you think down below in the comments. What do you think about this opening? What are you excited to see? Which new Pokemon that we saw are you excited to see in action? And any predictions going forward, for anything else you'd like to see, again, stay tuned. Tomorrow I'm going to be reviewing the episode 32. Yeah, episode 32 we're on. And if you'd like to see me talking about anime and stuff, I have a channel for other anime, Yu-Gi-Oh as well. The Yu-Gi-Oh anime is returning off a hiatus, so hopefully I'll be discussing that like I do with Pokemon episodes. So if you could check that channel out, that would mean so much. And I hit my mic, but if you could also leave a comment on the channel, on that channel as well, that would mean a lot, because I get no comments there. But anyway, if you enjoyed the content, remember to leave a like and subscribe to show your support. You can enable notifications by clicking that bell icon next to the subscribe button. This will make sure you see each new video as it comes out, and will make you a member of the Chingling Squad. Anyway, this has been GatorEX. Have a nice day.